Well, I haven't done it in a long time because I haven't had notes in a long time, so I guess I
Yeah,
can.
let's go.
So
Yippee.
we started off like back on the way to Tabernacle, and there were many people on the road. It was a sunny end of spring day. So when we get into Tabernacle, we return the horses, and the guy, after some persuasion from Oberon and Eulalie, runs through the map for us, and we decide to check out the nearby inn and the thrift shop. So some of us trade some items. You can look that back up in the post office because I don't have to run through that. And after we leave, we find the dog people that we helped in Nuremberg struggling to move a crate up the stairs. So Avani helps them by shrinking the crate so they get it onto the sled or cart that they had at the top of the stairs. And nicely enough, they introduce us to a bed and breakfast by their friend Elmi the Wise, who they say isn't very wise but has a very nice bed and breakfast. Anyway, as we wait for the dogs to finish at the guild kiosk, we spot a centaur that we recognize, Lamlin Joy, one of Oberon's previous Laurel teammates, talking to a hooded person and a green-skilled dragonborn. The hooded figure says that they have to give up their petitions or owe her a lot of money. Oberon goes over to say hi, but the green dragonborn drags Lamlin away. We are taken to the bed and breakfast on Sawyerford Road. Elmi leaves the house to us. We also discover that he is related to the bun tender that we had in Wyvern upon Stone. And or was that Halberdoon? That was
I
Halberdoon,
think that
right?
was
Anyway,
Halberdian. Yeah.
that was Halberdoon. Okay, in Halberdoon, and we long rest. So Sonmei wakes up early to buy rations, runs into a pair of Asbrin twins who tell her a bit more about the petition trials. Then the rest of us wake up sometime later and head to the After Dusk Court, where it's announced that only 20 petitions will be heard this year. So some of the less desperate, I guess, decide that they will wait for the next time, and only around 50 decide to proceed anyway. So now we are transferred to the trials hall.
Yeah. Great. Mark that inspiration. You must use it this session, but you have it. Which and it's the kind where you can just reroll anything you want.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
But yes, as Yumi so eloquently put it, you guys were come back to the scene that we're in. You sort of like the mist filled the courtroom, and between one blink and the next, you find yourself from honestly a pretty dark courtroom to an equally dark like night scene. There are candles sort of strewn about this place. The air here is much colder than it was in the courtroom. Granted, you are outside as much as you know. Looking up at the night sky, you can see there is sort of like a hazy purple pink glow, but you see no moon, and a little bit of clouds. The sort of space around you, like as you can tell from the map, is like lit with hundreds and hundreds of candles, beyond which is a forest that seems to go on as far as you can see. There is a procession of boats ahead of you filled with what you assume are other petitioners, and your own boat is underneath you, like someone mentioned earlier, quite full. You guys all managed to fit in it, but it is a bit of a squeeze. And yeah, this is what you see at the moment. You're currently drifting down this sort of riverway. What do you guys want to do? Any
I don't. I
questions?
just want to establish. Well, I just want to establish. I don't think Rain was here.
Mm-hmm.
Rain, Yuli is currently sleeping in Oberon's very expensive fur jacket.
Oh
Just
yeah.
FYI.
Okay.
That's where you wake up.
It smells like it smells like the expensive version of cheap cologne, just so you know. And because you were a small person, it's fucking everywhere. And it's thick.
Hey, you know what? The surface is probably the most expensive surface that Yuli has slept on since she's left home. Okay.
Whoa.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Monica. Tell me.
I have no comment. This is I'm staying out of this.
I feel like she's gonna wake up and the first thing she's gonna be like, "Oh, it's like comfortable, but a bit smelly here." Because I don't know, Oberon seems like he got a BO or something.
Whoa.
He looks he's gonna have the time. And then I'm assuming that she can just open the pocket and
Is that what I
leave.
mean?
Yeah, squirm out.
Yeah,
Like, you know when someone's holding a hamster and then the hamster's just
Yeah.
trying to escape the grip? It's like that.
Oprah's natural VO, yeah.
Oh, hold on. I gotta read for
that. She's like, huh, yeah,
What?
the smell.
Last session we had some may be racist, and this session,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like if she ever went to UK or something, I guess. I don't know. Okay, anyway. She decides to fly out because it's kind of smelly there.
Yeah, Yuli, you fly out of the very heavily scented pockets of Oberon, the Aasimar, and you find yourself in the scene I described earlier. You can fly up, and honestly, the only reason all of you fit in this boat is because Yuli is very small and can fly, so that does help quite a bit. You can see, like I said, the scene before, and because you're like sort of hovering, you can see a little bit ahead of you. There's a bunch of other petitioners hovering about.
Can you let me control my character, by the way?
Oh, can you guys not? I'll let you control your character. I don't know if the rest of you can, unless you want to move. Which I don't know if you will. Here, you can move yourself.
I mean, technically, she is flying a bit, so she can kind of move.
No, I can't. I cannot move myself.
I need to make you small. I need to make some of these other people small.
Yeah, so are we having some maybe paddling, pushing the boat underwater?
Somebody is kicking her feet and like basically being like a motor.
Okay, I guess I'm sailing the boat.
Yuli, give me,
unless somebody else can.
Give me if you're flying that way, give me a perception check.
Okay. 7.
Yeah. I think the sort of like, weirdly enough, it's dark, but because of just how dark it is, and there's again no moon in the sky to light up the forest / temple you're in, the like lights from the candle don't really help you see very far, and you sort of just see like vague shapes in the distance of like other people on boats. Oh, you guys can't move your tokens? Well, I sort of made it that way so you wouldn't hop out of the boat, but I will give you control if you really want. Here.
I mean...
Anyone else doing anything? Want to do something while you're slowly meandering down this river?
By the way,
look around.
Any of these
are
people,
all the
right? From last session, do we know anyone?
Kind of, yeah.
Yes. Oh. So you they met these two. Somebody met these two people. This person is a centaur from the same team as Oberon, actually, during the Laurels. So Obi definitely knows her. The rest of these people, you can't really see them clearly because you're far away, so I can't make any comments. I would say you are able to see the boat ahead of you and the boat behind you, but that's, with a 7, that's sort of what I'll give you for now.
Okay.
Can Avani look around, like maybe like a little further in front from where we are, to see what's like the rest of the place looks like?
Yeah. Go ahead. You can do that. You can just sort of float over. Give me a perception check as well.
25.
Much better. So from that area, you actually see the boats. I would say 2 boats ahead of you. Ahead of these 2 individuals, You can see again. Did Sunmay tell you that she met some random people who told
No.
her? No.
No.
She
No.
She specifically said no.
She said no. Okay.
Yeah.
She
well,
forgot
Sonmei
to
specifically
ask.
said that she did not tell.
Okay. Ahead of you, you see two people who ostensibly look the same, but somehow look very different. They have like completely different like body type builds and everything, but their coloring is almost like identical. Hair texture wise, completely different, but the same sort of patterning. But they seem to be two humans on this boat. You can see the boat ahead. Interestingly enough, there's 4 sort of flying creatures in here, kind of Eulalie sized. They're pretty colorful. Most of them have what seem to be, to your eyes, insect wings, just like Eulalie. And they're sort of like chattering amongst themselves. You also see, as you like sort of fly up and take stock of your surroundings, you can see that on the like sort of edges of the temple that sort of surrounds the river that you're on, there are, you didn't notice them before, maybe because of like the darkness or the candles, but there are several hooded figures. They seem to be sort of whispering to each other, milling about. Every now and again, the ones by the bank will like sort of look towards the boats, and you can see the sort of hood, like the head under the hood, like turn to like see the boats pass by, but they seem to be just watching you from a distance.
Can I ask if the boats are all moving at the same pace, and can Somme ostensibly paddle motor and I steer the boat for us to go faster to like pull up to one of the boats, or no?
You can give me a perception check as you try to sort of paddle the boat through the river.
13?
13. Even with a 13, like what are you using to paddle? There's no paddles in the boat per se, but what are you using to sort of propel the boat?
They're using Sunmei.
They're using Sunmei's legs.
Using Sonmei.
Yeah, I will say, like, as you're watching Sonmei, I think she's sitting on the edge and on the back, and she's like kicking her legs like a motor to like move the boat forward like a paddle boat. But like you're starting to notice, and I think Sonmei's starting to notice, as she's kicking, the water's not splashing. It's almost like you haven't seen any like sort of droplets leave the surface of the water. And and you see the water moving, like there's ripples, but it's not splashing up.
Really water.
It's not really water. And then Sonmei, I think after a second, will turn around and say, guys, this is fake water. What the heck? This isn't real water. And sort of like reaches her hand down to like try to splash it up, and it sort of like just falls through her finger. It's almost like it is like fabric rather than actual water. But her fingers do go right through it.
Interesting. Could Avani because Avani can fly because of the boots, could she possibly come behind the boat and push the boat while flying? Motor number 2?
Do you ask this to Vani?
Yeah, Avani, can you come around and try and push the boat forward?
For
There's no
signs?
friction, so wait, what?
For signs, yeah, she will try.
Vani, as you sort of
Feels
like put your hands
As
on
this
the
is
boat.
happening,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, I was wondering, like, do you think the boat ride is like more than 10 minutes? I wanna try if I can also just cast Identify on this fake water.
I don't think that's how
water.
Identify works. That's not how you can't just like
Can I like
grass identify.
Arcana checks? Okay.
You can do an Arcana check. I don't think you can cast Identify on the water because it's not an object.
Okay.
It's a body of nature ? But yes, you can do that. You wanted to check what? Arcana check? Yeah, so roll me your Arcana check.
Yeah.
And then Avani, give me a perception check as you're trying to push the boat. Oh, can we get that out of the way? Get that out of the way, Charles. It's fine. It's fine.
11.
Yeah. Again, even with an 11, you're physically touching the boat and you're physically pushing the boat, but the sort of
Nothing's happening.
there's like a sluggishness, like, and you feel the boat actually like moving forward when you push it, but when you like see if it's gone anywhere, it hasn't. It almost feels like you're pushing it through something that's just bouncing it back, and then the boat will like continue on the momentum that it's been set on.
Okay, science has been conducted.
Yeah, this is like all of the physics that you've sort of experienced so far. Like bells indicate this is not normal physics. This is not how stuff works, or at least it's not how you think stuff should work.
Can I Arcana check the water for 17?
Yeah, of course. Arcana check from Kevin for the water. It's wet. You're not even sure if it's wet. You're like you're confused. Avani,
And then like bring it back. Does my hand not come up like glistened by water?
no, it's not. It's completely dry.
Huh.
But it felt wet when you put your hand in.
Okay.
May I do? Because I have dark vision, and the hooded figures are within my dark vision section. May I do a religion check to see if there's maybe if their fits look familiar of any specific sect, or if they have any specific symbols? I assume it'll all be of the shutter, but if there's anything else interesting.
Yes, you can roll that. I will solve Avani's Arcana check. So what are you checking for, Avani?
Like the water, I mean.
The water?
The fake water. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is now that I'm looking more closely at this fake water?
Yeah, you're looking at it. It's not 100% illusion magic. Like you can't sort of sense that magic on the water. So it is what it is meant to be. But what it is meant to be is not water, the actual water. You sense that, like, I think, like, after a moment, this place entirely, the whole realm, it's sort of reeking of divine magic. This entire, like, wherever you sort of flit off to, the water, the candles, the boat, the whole shebang, everything that isn't, like, a participant sort of radiates divine magic. The same sort of, like, arcana magic that you feel whenever Hako casts a spell, similar to that. Oberon, with your religion check, these hooded figures, their cloaks are sort of they don't have any symbols on them, any like actual visible sort of symbology, but the cloaks that are those in the dark cloaks, the sort of ends are sort of shimmering, half translucent, but still opaque enough that you can't actually see the figure inside. Kind of the same color as like the night sky, and those in the sort of lighter cloaks reminiscent to you of like twinkling starlight.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think Oberon says anything, but very obviously the shutter is like related priests. All right. Can I? What is it? We're 10, 15 feet away from Lameline, who's behind us. Can I call out to Lameline?
Sure. Yes, you can if you want to. What do you say to her?
Yes. I call out, "Oh, hi, hello, Lameline." I'm like, interesting place we got here, eh? Trying to strike up a conversation.
Lemeline's give me an insight check before I respond.
Okay. 11.
Yeah, I mean, like, Lemeline's someone that you were on a team with for like 2 weeks. Like, you should You should know her pretty well. She like sort of looks at you. She's got her arms crossed over her chest. Before you called out to her, her eyes were closed and she was sort of leaning back in the boat. There's only 2 people on her boat. It's herself and a sort of like masked swordsman, not the green dragonborn that you saw earlier. But the swordsman sort of looks at Lamaline, looks at you. Lamaline looks at the swordsman, sort of shakes her head, and then looks at you and just closes her eyes again and like leans back into the boat.
Oh. And Oberon turns back and he's like, she must be having a bad day because she's not with her lovely wife Verity.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
Girls. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was imagining in my head.
Obi emote, exactly.
Obi looking at her like, hey girl, hi friend.
Yeah.
Okay, Yulili, do you want to do anything else? Hako, you can type if you'd like.
Can she move closer to like the front boat?
Yeah, you can move closer. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, you do move closer. You see
She just like gets to move.
In their face.
Makes herself home here.
Are you? Do you land on their boat?
Yeah.
Okay, the one in the front sort of like looks up. He has a like a cup of wine, and he's just sort of like very casually drinking it while on the boat. And he sort of looks at you and he's just like, "Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting a visitor on the boat. Brother, look, we have a guest." And then the sort of larger one in the back with the curly hair looks at you and then grunts and then like sits back down on the boat. The straight-haired one says, can I help you with anything?"
So Eulalie flies and she sits on a boat, like the side. You know, she makes herself look like she's very home. And then she asks him like, "Hey, so who are you guys and what are you guys doing here?"
"Oh, well, you know, we're just like you. We're petitioners. We're here to, well, ask the queen for a favor, or at least try. I'm assuming that's what you're also here for, correct?"
Yeah, kinda, I guess.
Kind of. I mean, wouldn't anyone want a favor from the queen?
Well, I guess. And then she points to the guy behind. And she's like, "Why is he so grumpy?"
"Oh, don't mind Leon. He's just like that. He's not grumpy. Smile, brother." And then the guy in the back like opens his eyes and bares his teeth. It can only legally in court be called a smile, but in every single other sense of the word, he is snarling. It's not it's like gritted teeth smile. And then Leon, the one you were talking to, he goes, "Oh, look, your smile's so lovely, brother," and like just claps a little bit. And he's like, I always told you should smile more. It makes you more approachable." And Leon just kind of closes his eyes and like keeps his smile up. And then you see and he turns to you and he says like, "Look, he is smiling. He's a pleasant fellow. Don't worry about it."
I'm not sure if that was really a smile, but sure. And she just twirls around and she makes herself more homely in the middle of the boat.
And Leon goes, "Oh, okay, well, there is room, but I mean, I thought you would have. There is a boat up ahead of, you know, I thought you were with them, the other fairy folk."
No, I don't know them. Why do they need such a big boat if they're like, you know, little fairies like me, if you think about it?
How loudly do you say that, Eulalie?
Just normal? I don't know.
You hear from like, I don't know, 20 feet ahead of you, the other boat, this like shrill voice go, Eulalie, you watch your freaking mouth, okay? What do you mean we need a big boat? You need a big boat, traitor. And this like pink fairy is like flying towards you like a little bullet. And then she sort of like flutters in front of you and like fluffs her wings out a little bit. She's got like these big, beautiful, like pink wings. Eulalie, you know that she is. You made yourself bigger.
Also to match the size.
Yeah, she's a little. She is a little bigger than you. In fact, she has like these sort of big, beautiful, like pink, like orchid mantis wings, and she's got like beautiful pink hair, and she like does the pose that she's doing in her icon where she's like pretending to wipe sweat off her brow. She's like, Eulalie, stop talking about me like I'm not here. We're literally right there. We can hear you.
Eulalie gives like those Ojo-sama laugh, you know, like and she's like, yeah, did I ask you to listen to me? This is
Oh my
public
God.
space.
Yeah, well, did I ask you to speak so loudly that it's grating my beautiful ears? I didn't, but you did it anyway.
Maybe you should
Eulalie,
just cut them off.
Eulalie, you know this person. You so this is like I said, she's an orchid mantis fairy. Her name is Bianca, and she has been with you through every stage of like school. Her parents are very, very rich, and they run sort of the like merchant trade. They run a very large like merchant trading company within like the Feywild, and so I think she and you have not got along very well throughout your existence together, but you definitely know Bianca. I would even go as far to say as like your childhood, I wouldn't say friends, maybe rivals and frenemies. You've been forced to go to her birthday parties. She's been forced to go to your birthday parties. Like, because both of your parents are like friendly with each other, but you guys are not friendly with each other. Bianca sort of like puts her hands on her hips and she says, and here I thought I wouldn't have to listen to your nagging, grating little bee voice while I was on my big adventure. Alas, like usual, you love to follow me.
She looks at her like, she looks at Bianca and she's like, oh, shut up, you smelly. I could smell you all the way from the back of this boat thing, whatever.
She sort of like puts her hand on her like chest and does like a fake Ojo-sama gasp, like, you take that back. I smell of nothing but the finest roses grown in my papa's garden. You take it back. You didn't mean it. You wish you could smell like me. And she sort of goes, and then like sips back.
I like that they were just having the girl spat in this guy's boats.
Yeah. As Bianca leaves, Leon sort of turns to you and is just like, oh wow, it seems like you've got some history with those individuals.
No, I don't really know them, to be honest.
Leon sort of like gives like a laugh, and then you can even see Leon's like mouth like sort of wiggle a little bit, like he's trying not to laugh. And Leon goes, well, if that's how you treat people you don't know, well, I hope to be a friend instead. And he sort of like holds his hand out for you to shake. I don't think I've introduced myself. I'm Leon, and this is my brother Leon.
You're Leon and Leon?
No, I'm Leon with an N, and that's Leon with also an N.
Eulalie's like, huh?
I suppose they do sound similar, but no, I'm Leon and he's Leon.
Eulalie's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, you can be my friends if you let me stay here for a bit, because my team's boat is kind of cramped, and I don't want to be like in the in that cramped space, smelling their stupid BO.
Oh,
Wow.
well, hopefully we smell pleasant enough or unoffensive enough for you to stay. Sure, we've got plenty of room. Isn't that right, brother? And then Leon just grunts.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you
And
sort of
then
settle
Make
into
yourself cool. Yeah.
yeah. They make a space for you in the middle. Leon even like finds like rummages through his bag and then finds, ostensibly for some reason, he has like a sewing kit. He pulls out a thimble and he pours a little bit of the wine into the thimble and he hands it to you. It's like, would you like a glass? I've brought some of my favorite vintage from home to keep myself warm.
Well, since you offered, I'll take it. Thanks. She takes
Yeah,
it.
it's good. It's good wine. It's tasty.
Is that good? No.
It's really good. It's you can you haven't had a lot of material plane wine like wine from the coil. You've had mostly Feywild wine, but it just tastes good. Just good for regular people wine. That's for sure.
She's like, she gives the approving nod.
Yeah, so you're drinking on the boat with these two people. The rest of you sort of like feel the river underneath you in the boat, just gently and very steadily at pace, like make its way down the river procession. As you sort of pass the pass through this temple, you can see, not that. You can see that there's more of these figures sort of milling about the temple space. Is there anything you want to do before your boat sort of passes under the arch at the end of the way?
Yeah. I forgot there's a body under our feet.
Yeah, there
You
is.
said. Can we inspect it? And also, did any of us catch all of the drama that was happening visually in the boat ahead?
I think Avani is close enough that she can hear it. Yeah, Avani can hear it. You guys heard like bits and snippets, but especially the drama, it's Eulalie and then another little bug, so it all kind of just sounded from far away like like kind of hard to catch. Anyone who wants to give me a perception roll to see how well you're able to actually understand what they were saying to each other.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah!
Kevin is so nosy. It's like, what is going on up ahead?
Oh, Kevin, you heard all of it, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a catty little conversation, that's for sure. Yeah, I think Oberon, Hako, you heard like bits and pieces. You heard it when they like sort of yelled at each other and called each other smelly, and annoyingly loud. But for the most part, kind of just went one ear and out the other. Yes, Kevin, what are you doing about the body? Something you want to do?
So like, is the body just like there, like in the middle, or is there like a sheet of like glass between us or anything?
Oh yeah. So when you see the body in the boat, you almost didn't notice it because it's like covered in like sort of dark fabric, and it is like tied up, and it is just like laying there. You like don't bump into it when you get on the boat. Like your leg sort of like passes right through it. It actually feels quite similar to when you put your hand in the water and you try to lift it up. You can like pass your body through this like this body that's in the boat. You kind of feel something bumping up against you, but your hand just goes right through it.
Huh.
Wait, perception check for more details.
Is it
or
like in a
investigate?
bag?
It's sort of like wrapped in a like dark brown cloth. If you'd like, you can all make me a either perception or investigation check on the body. Yeah, so you can do that.
Okay.
I'm observing nothing
Yep.
today,
Oh, wow, very
except for
good.
drama.
It's like, yeah, Kevin's not really paying attention to anything except for the drama happening to you, Lily. Yeah, I think Lily doesn't care. She's drinking wine. She's on a Riviera cruise at the moment. I think Kevin and Oberon, like, this is just some weird body. Maybe it's even an illusion to you that your hand sort of like passes through it. It's weird that you can feel it a little bit, but like mostly you just feel like you're bumping into like cloth or bumping into something like water. Hako, you can, with your sort of not expertise, with your experience with bodies and, you know, like dead people, and as like a grave cleric, this is absolutely a dead body, and like there's something about the way that it is tied up that speaks to you of funeral rites. This is how, and Avani, you would know this too, this is how a lot of people are strung up, especially in Lower Orchard, in order to be sent off in like a funeral pyre. Avani, with your 27, you know that, and you also can tell that like this is, weirdly enough, like there's like a faint smell to where the body is. It almost smells as if it's already been burnt, but the rope itself is intact. Some parts of the fabric look like they've been like singed at the edges, but yeah, this is a body in preparation or having already gone through, you're not entirely sure, for a funeral pyre, essentially, like a send off into the, like when someone's dead.
But your hands pass right through it.
Yeah, your hands pass right through it.
Interesting. Have we changed planes?
I don't know.
Is there any way to tell?
I think unless you have a spell that like tells you that, which I think there are some, I don't know how you guys would know, like definitively, because I also don't think, aside from you, Lily, that any of you have been actually. Hako, can you give me a perception check? Actually, give me, yeah, either perception or wisdom. Yeah, guidance yourself. Yeah, that's Yuli. She's eating the chips that they gave her. Now they've been pulling snacks out of their bag to like give her. 15, and then what's your guidance? That's 18. So Taco, you're like contemplating this weird dead body, this like freaky water. You're kind of ignoring the whatever the hell's happening with you, Lily, and whatever the hell Oberon is doing with the people behind you on the boat. And you're like kind of thinking, why does the air here smell so familiar? There is a sort of familiarity to the magic of this place, of which like you can tell it is steeped in magic, even without an Arcana checked. And something about the way that your magic is like reacting to when you cast guidance to yourself, it's very reminiscent to you of like those times that you thought you were in a dream, and you were in that sort of hospital ward, talking to somebody. Yeah, so it feels very reminiscent, and it smells like, aside from, you know, the lack of like medicinal herb smell that was definitely in the hospital ward, but this smells just like that hospital ward that you seem to go back to time and time again. But yeah, I think Kako is the only one who's experienced that as of, actually, let me think. No, okay, Kevin, you should actually roll perception as well.
Okay. Oh my god, why are you noticing now, girl? 28.
Whoa. Yeah. Avani asks it out loud. If you're in a different plane, is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because because as she's looking at the body, she's like, like, is it real? And like maybe we're just like not in the same space,
yeah, I think
and that's why we're like,
I think you asking that out loud is what prompts Hako and Kevin to like roll, and try to like recall if this is familiar to them. Kevin, I was gonna make this high roll, but you got a 28. So, you
Oops.
after Avani mentions it, you're like, "What's a different plane? I don't really know anything. I don't really know about that." But you remember you had a pretty, I would classify it as almost horrifying experience, like a couple weeks ago, in a place where your senses were sort of robbed of you, and you recall that sort of visit that you had, in that unfamiliar sort of silken lounge, and you're like, the air here smells similar to that, but in the way that, like, in the same way that Hako's memory is like, I don't smell the pungent herbs, here you don't smell the sort of like camphory like incense, but you do feel that the coldness of the air, the sort of way that, again, your body sits in this space is reminiscent of that previous time, but definitely not as like vaguely threatening or as scary as that time felt to you.
Yeah. At Avani's question, Kevin's like kind of goes away a little, but then shares like I don't know about another plane, but it sure does feel like a place I've been to in a dream. Nobody passed out, right? I didn't pass out, right?
I think. Are you talking right now? I think we're all awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all awake.
Bonnie's like, I'm awake. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay. I mean, has anyone else been to another plane? Does anyone know how it would feel to be on a plane that we're not supposed to be on?
I guess it wouldn't count as a dream, Monty. I was just thinking about what is it when Oberon, what is it? It's 0 HP that one time on the train, and also when what is it? 3 beats pulled him for that vision. But I guess that wouldn't really be a dream, huh?
No, yeah, Oberon, I don't think you feel familiar with this place at all. This place is very foreign to you, energy-wise, aura-wise, etc. Nako being like, yes, nods, goes back to looking outside the boat.
Yeah, this is bagging, please. Can you expand? Do you know something? Kev's gonna be very PNI'd here.
Hako can.
Do I know
Yeah.
something? Yeah? And?
Yeah.
Do you know which plane, possibly?
I mean, if we're in a different plane, and those figures very much look like shutter motif, so I would assume some realm belonging to the shutter.
Hako was just saying yes to fuck with Kevin. Oh, sorry, that's Mochi.
Is that Mochi?
Yeah, that's Mochi.
Hi, Mochi.
Oh, Haku says, not sure about this one specifically, but last time I had a feeling like this, I was speaking with a lingering. Oh, okay.
Whoa, you spoke to
Yes,
God.
everyone just... A god. LeBron's little, like, tiny little hand clap and is like, well, I suppose we're probably in the, the Shutter's domain, so I assumed, I don't know, can we do anything about I think we should just enjoy the boat ride at this point. I don't think we can, move the boat. We can't do anything, so might as well just relax on the river cruise.
You're right. We can't
I'm
do
like,
anything.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about somebody, because I think, what is it? Kevin is looking very, very pale and nervous, right? So
Yeah, Kevin, the sort of like heaviness and fear that was a little ever present in the previous time that you've been to a different plane at this point, it's not present here at all. Like you don't feel that sort of weight in your chest. But it is still familiar in that sense, like everything else about it.
Okay.
as that one famous song goes, let the Arcana take the wheel.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to, you can make me a religion check. I will give Avani advantage.
Do you want to nerf my auto advantage I have?
No, you can just have auto advantage. This seems like a thing you would know. Not 20 swag.
Oh. Whoa, Avani,
Whoa.
not 20?
Whoa, everyone loves God. Awesome.
Stress.
Yeah, did Kevin got a 20? Wow.
Kevin got a 20.
Kevin suddenly
Everybody
believed-
perceiving.
Everyone perceiving. Yeah, this is just to sort of like recall. I don't know how all of you know it. I know how Vani knows it ostensibly because this is her god. But you all know that each of the sort of gods in the Arcana has a realm that, like, sort of like a demi-plane that they rule over and that they've created, and that they rule. And it's sort of like built in the image of whatever they'd like. The Shutters is called Zachariah's Descent. And so you have a feeling that you are there, that is the place that you're in. If you are in fact in a different plane, and it is the Shutters, it would be Zachariah's Descent.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Whoa, Mochi the cat. Is the cat also named Mochi?
Oh my god.
There's so many little white animals named Mochi. But yes, you guys sort of like come to that revelation, and you sit in your boat ride and you sort of like watch as the figures, as your boat goes down the river, you see the figures on like either side just observe and sometimes whisper to each other. And sort of one of them at the end sort of waves as you leave, and make your way down the river. After, I would say maybe 20-30 minutes, though I would think your sort of sense of time is a little difficult to tell because it's dark here and the stars aren't moving. So you can't really tell if it's been 20 minutes or an hour, but it feels like maybe 20 minutes. You start to hear the sound of sort of rushing, roaring water. And you guys, you're coming from the top, find yourselves like the river sort of almost like the temple on either side parts and turns into sort of like waterfalls, but your river is floating right in the middle of two like large waterfalls. You see on the left and the right, your boat like sort of came down this way, are two buildings. They are straight up just floating. It looks like on either side of the river. This sort of foggy bit is all like the water is like coming out of like the sides of the river, forming waterfalls. And you sort of see like a milky sky underneath you at this point, sort of cloudy, milky, and almost like a little bluish purple, like the northern lights. Your boat is one of the last to dock, and you all sort of hop out. This seems to be another like larger part of the temple, and you can see a few other folks milling about. I don't have it pictured here, but on like each of the little squares and like sort of scattered around everywhere, there are like tents. Some large, some small, but they seem to be like tents like propped up here. And people are milling around the center where there's some food, mostly fruits and vegetables, but you know, a few like bread rolls here and there. And you can see here just more roaring waterfall coming from like these edges. In the center is a statue of a well, kind of looks like Obi, with at least Obi with his wings out. A winged figure holding the like a sort of like a tray with like a star spinning in the middle of a bunch of concentric rings, and you can make your way to like walk around this place if you'd like. I don't know if I've given you. Yeah, sorry. Charles, you want to put your Kevin token down?
Yeah, I already did. Thank you.
Can you give me that so you don't have to put it yourself?
I don't mind putting it down because that way you don't have to give me permission to move it, unless that is something you want to do.
Oh, that's okay then. Hold on, I'm giving everyone perms. Uno momento.
The creature is free.
Obi is free.
He's so
okay.
excited to be here.
Everyone is
being around.
Oh, Obi, this is your pilgrim. This is the first time, as the others have mentioned it. This is the first time you've ever been in a God's realm that you know of. You're like,
yeah,
I made it.
I'm having
I made it.
Having a great time. Hashtag I'm taking notes.
Right?
We've made it, friends.
You see Lamlane, she like hops off like after you, because her boat was the last one. And she sort of brushes herself off and like walks this way past these folks. But yeah, you guys are free to wander around. If you want to talk to anybody, you can observe. Let me know if you want to look at anything, make a roll, etc.
I
don't like you slowly approaching.
Wait.
Running away.
Okay.
Yeah, Avani, you'd have to like go around to go there. I know that.
Oh, I can't fly over it.
Yeah, you can
wait,
fly
is everyone
over
going
if you
that way?
want to. But yes, there's like two statues of like more winged creatures. Yuli just flew through like the arms or whatever. There is sort of, don't stand there. Oh my god, you guys, so misbehaved. So this is where all the food is. People are leaving a circle here.
Okay.
There's a woman who was not on the boats with you at the front. She's got sort of like markings on her face and like braids and sort of darkish skin, but she is like sort of looking around and like waiting for people to like gather around and get okay. Settled. I'll bring Sunmay over here. Is there anything you want to do before we get started?
Look at what the statues are actually depicting, I guess.
Yeah. Can we investigate?
Yeah.
Give me an investigation roll. Anyone who's looking at the statues and wants to learn more.
Oh.
9.
I'm too
20,
distracted by everybody else.
You're like next to what? Yeah, you're like, it's just some freaking statue. Wow. We got those at home. We have those in my garden at home. Who cares? Let's see. Obi, over on, you're looking at the statues. They're beautiful and they got wings, but you're not sure what else is there. Avani, you're looking at the statues and like one of them, the one in the middle is like I wouldn't say common, but a very like it's a depiction of the shutter that you've seen before. People don't have like an exact name for which version, like which instance of the shutter that this statue is modeled. off, they actually have there's a shrine in Halberdoon, like not like the big one, but there's like a smaller like street shrine that you've sort of been past, that has a smaller version of the statue that people use to pray to. It's just an incarnation of like one of the Shudder's lives, of which there are many. That people use to sort of like stand as her depiction. On the left and the right, though, are statues of, it seems like, adjuncts of the Shudder. Weirdly enough, the two figures in front of them look just like the two figures depicted on the statues. They've got sort of like blank white eyes. Their skin, now that you've noticed it, is gray, just like the statues, almost made of marble. Yeah, that's what you notice about the statues.
The people in front of them look strangely like them.
That they also look like the statues. But they don't.
Wait,
they don't have any wings.
The two people, right? The purplish tokens. Okay.
They're not actually statues. Excuse me.
They're standing very still. You're not sure. You haven't seen them move, but but I think you can tell that they're people. Like every now and again, one of them will blink.
Okay.
Well, Oberon's distracted by people who very much look like Asbrians and probably are Asbrians.
Oh yeah, Oberon, you can. Is it, this is the first time you've seen these people, right? Because they were on the boat ahead of you.
Yes.
But yeah, these they're Asbrians. They look like they would be.
Okay, well, I go up to them with a friendly what is it? A traditional Willamette Habibi with a hand over heart and a little bow.
Is this just your way of making me say Habibi?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not gonna say it. Just assume that I say it in my speech when I talk as them. just assume that it happens. I will not.
Kevin's gotta turn around to watch this happen.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, the one with like sort of straight hair, like looks at you and it's just like, hail and well met. Excuse me, are you here for the? I think she's going to start the explanation soon. But it's always nice to see, I assume to be a fellow Asbrian out in the wild.
Yes, quite uncommon. So quite surprised to see fellow Asbrians out here. Should definitely talk more a little bit later. I'd like to know what's going on back at home. It's been a while since I've been out and about.
Leon gives you sort of like a wry smile and like tilts his head and is just like, I don't think it's that rare. I mean, there's quite a lot of us and we do like to get around, and sort of turns around and then like points at Hako. There's one right there too. I don't think it's that rare.
Oh, I'm like, oh, they're a special case. A bit of a could be Asbrian, could not be Asbrian, but we're on our way to figure that out.
I'm not sure it's an incredibly polite thing to do, but if they're all right with it, then okay. If you excuse me, I think my brother wants a snack. And then Leon goes, yeah, snack. And like sort of moves past Kevin to go get some grapes and stand over here. And then he sort of like gives you a little finger wave and then also leaves. They're eating some of the plums and the grapes that are I think Sonmei is hoarding the watermelons, but
yeah, I guess we
Are there
will
any...
snack if everybody is
I'm
if that's what
curious.
the
Are there?
order of
Oh,
business.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying that I guess we will all go join the buffet if everybody is doing that. I guess.
line.
I'm curious. Are there no like tales in coil, like about not eating stuff in a different realm?
I don't know.
Like Hades, can I like try to think of anything if I've heard any tales like that during my like bardic studies or like while trying to collect information for
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead and give me a history roll if you'd like.
Not 20.
Oh, I got 920.
Wow.
You guys are rolling crazy today. Wow. Yeah,
I'm worried.
you have heard of like there are some planes in which you shouldn't be eating the stuff they give you. Mostly because like dependent on the sort of intention of the people that take you to that plane and take mortals, I suppose, into their planes, like some stuff you should not eat. I think namely people talk about like don't eat anything from the Velvet's realm because that food is food for the dead, right? But like it's not the case that every plane is like you shouldn't eat the food. It's not like a universal rule that all planes will like trap you there if you eat them. There's not a Hades rule in place for every single plane.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
that's not how that works.
Or like a punishment.
Yeah, well, I think this is not related to your history check, but just related to general logic. They've set up tents for you. They've given you food to like eat. I don't think they're punishing you by eating this food. Doesn't mean the
Also,
DM explaining
lot of-
the situation. Like you volunteered to be here. I don't know why they would punish you. And this happens every year as well. So like I don't know why that would be
Also,
the
I think a
case.
whole lot of people have already eaten
Yeah,
and
yeah. Everybody's
are
already
fine.
eating. Yeah.
Good question.
Mhm.
The guy I'm pointing at, the dwarf I'm next to,
Yeah.
is that Malric first thrust from the adopted dwarf from the camp?
Yes, it sure is.
Oh wow, okay. Oberon runs over to Yeah, it's from the camp in
With the dogs.
what is it? The little rich from the docks where we camped outside. And Oberon went over to the camps and talked to people. And there was that one dwarf with like the halfling who was terrified and the woman who was like very like don't trust anyone. But yeah, well, Oberon sees more people that he recognizes, so he runs over and he's like, "Hello, Malrig. So glad to see you again."
Nice to see you as well. Glad you've made it to well, petition, but you know I'll be vying for a spot, so can't be too friendly. And then like sort of gives you a little nudge.
It's like, oh well, I mean, there's plenty of room in the petitions for both of us. And let me see. They're like oh yeah, and Oberon swipes up a goblet of I assume there's like wine and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's wine.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he gets to drink in. And he's like, going over. Is there anybody else he wants to talk to?
Because if not, we will begin.
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead and begin. But also, where's Eulalie?
Oh, where is Eulalie? Oh, she's sitting
On
here.
this-
She's sitting up on the platform.
Oh, okay.
For some
Wow.
reason.
On the platform.
Yeah, so as you all sort of gather around, the like sort of twin flames on the two statues here, they weren't lit before, they're lit now. Like they basically like flare to life. The sort of green light emerges from them, and the woman in the center who has like sort of a staff like taps it thrice on the ground, and like the candles around you for a moment like flare up with the same sort of green light that the torches flared up with, and then sort of settle back down into their regular yellow light. And her voice, as she opens her mouth, sort of fills and like rolls over all of you in the space. You are ostensibly outdoors, but it almost as if like fog fills the room as she starts to speak. And she says, "Welcome, petitioners, to the trials. We are here to determine if your petition is worthy of being heard, and if your conviction is strong enough to have it ring true. I am the adjutant of the After Dusk Court, Ash Blacktree, and I will be observing and judging your performances. The trial consists of 4 of the qualities of the After Dusk Court and of the Shudder herself. You may choose which to do in whichever order, but you must complete all 4. Whether you succeed at the task or whether you fail is of no consequence to our judgment. All that we ask is that you attempt it with her ideals in mind. There's the trial of fear, the trial of instinct, the trial of night, and the trial of wilderness. 4 aspects of our mistress that we'd like to see you demonstrate during the course of these trials. Those who would like to rest in between them, we've provided spaces in this temple for you to find reprieve. Violence against one another will not be tolerated, nor will it stand. For in her realm you have no power that we do not bestow. Feel free to eat and drink as you like. Take part in her generosity. Those who would like to begin the trial of night meet at the northeastern edge. Those who would like to begin the trial of instinct meet at the northwestern edge. Those who would like the trial of night and wilderness gather in the south. Only when all participants have finished their first round of trials may we reconvene for a break, where you may rest and indulge before your next trial. Any questions?
Yeah, when you say like northeast and northwest, like these 2 ladies are like there.
She like turns around to you who's on the statue, and you see just like you'll give me, since you're very close to her, give me an insight check.
Wait, hold on. 9.
Yeah, you can see it just because you're like right up in her grill. When you like speak up and you're sitting behind her, just like a little sparkle in her eye, and you can tell she's just a little amused by you. She thinks you're a little silly. She points towards the sort of like stairs here that drop off into what looks like nothingness. And she says, "That is the trial of fear," and then points to the left. "That is the trial of instinct," and then gestures to the south, like down the sort of temple into the woods, "and that is where you gather for the trials of night and wilderness."
Oh, it's night and wilderness together. Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, thanks.
Of course, Eulalie. And then she'll turn back around.
So fear was northeast? Did you say?
Yeah, fear was northeast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then like from the sort of like the back, you hear like a voice pop up and say, "And you said there's no hurting other competitors, right?" And the adjutant sort of turns and says, "No. Even if you attempt it, the point of this trial is not to show your might, but show your worthiness. If your only way of showing worthiness is by shedding blood, you may retreat now, for I will let you know it is not a sufficient answer to the question we have posed." And the sort of guy from the back goes, "Okay, just Just making sure. No, I'm not gonna punch anybody or anything, or I tell this big guy I'm not gonna do it. And the voice is sort of coming from this guy behind you, and the guy just next to him just kind of grunts. And the adjutant goes, "If you have no further questions, you may move to your places. Any questions past now, you may ask me later. Best of luck, and may her night be with you." And as she says that, the sort of like candles flare up once again, and people will start shuffling off to where they want to go. Where do you guys want to go?
Where do we
Where do we want to go?
Fear, instinct, night and wilderness.
I mean, does anyone know Shudder's like beliefs well here? Vani?
Vani?
I forgot.
I mean, those basically are her like precepts. Like that's why
Yeah,
they call them the 4 trials.
Mm-hmm.
But they only listed 3: fear, instinct, night, and wilderness. Unless night and wilderness are 2 parts split in the south.
Night and wilderness are 2 different things.
Correct.
Avani would know this.
Okay.
But they're both in the
They're both in the south.
no. But like the trials themselves are both in the south. Okay.
The trial of night and the trial of wilderness are both in the south. There is like there's 2 different trials, and you go south.
Well, as a follower of Shudder, do you have a recommendation, Vani, where we should start? Is there like an order?
Is there an
I
order?
don't really think that there's an
know.
order. No, they're equally important.
So true.
Hmm.
Why not just go clockwise then? Start from northeast. Instinct?
Well,
Okay.
well, this is kind of metagamey, but quick question, Moni, will you be piloting Sanmei or no?
I can if you need her.
Okay. Just
We're in your
'cause,
hands.
like in Game of Von, like or Sanmei is present, but like from a metagamey standpoint, I'm like paladin or fear, just yeah. Their deity choice in our sin.
Yeah,
Just
it's true.
saying.
Yeah, you're just related to her. I think in a sense Avani does like vaguely follow her because she's from Lower Orchard and most people kind of do just by default, but I think literally yes, Avani's deity is even birds. Well,
So it's just like
Then-
not exactly, but
Well then, Avani, what do your instincts tell you? Feel free to choose for the team because I don't think anybody else has a preference.
I think I think the entire point of it is to demonstrate fearlessness, so we should do whatever we want.
If nobody,
I mean, where are we standing right now? Let's just go to the nearest one.
yeah,
Take a
so
route.
these
Where's
two
everyone else going?
okay. Yeah, let me just show you if you guys are waiting. I'll show you where people are going. So these 4 are going here. These 2 go here. Lameline and this person, they're both going here. The dogs go to the wilderness. These 4 go to the wilderness. This guy goes to instinct. These 3 go to instinct. These 3 go to here. These 2 go to here. These 2 go to here because it's the closest. Everyone's going to the closest one here. These 3 are headed this way. And you guys, these 2 that I can't pick up because Yuli's hanging out with them. these 2 will head over actually to do instinct down here. So
I thought instinct was
Yeah,
northwest.
I guess we can.
wasn't it?
instinct
can
is
go
in this.
where
Oh,
there
sorry,
are-
not instinct. They're doing the night trial. Sorry.
Okay, I guess we can go to the less crowded one.
okay,
Down?
then
Okay.
it's either down.
To,
Yeah,
oh,
alright.
to fear?
Down,
Oh,
down we
okay,
go.
down.
Yeah.
Okay, down.
Or- So we have to choose between night or
To
wilderness, right?
wilderness or night?
Yes, wilderness or night.
Which is less people.
Currently night.
Okay,
Alright,
night
then.
it is.
Okay. As you guys sort of like head off into the forest and everybody sort of heads off, I don't have the map for it, but further down there is sort of like a split pathway. Both halves of the pathway are sort of like shrouded in fog, and one of them has a like what looks like on the ground a large paw print, sort of like embedded into the like dirt and cobblestone, and then on the other side there is embedded into the like earth like a little star, denoting that that is the trail of night and that is the trail of wilderness, and you guys split off and follow, I'm assuming, follow the trail into the trail of night, correct?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I have to change the music for this.
Oh no.
Hold on. This is just for my own. There you go. Okay,
Cute music.
it's from Leighton.
I
You,
actually can't hear anything, but never mind.
that's
I
okay.
can't hear anything, but never mind.
Don't worry, Spartbot. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Lily, you're coming with them. You guys head over to the Trial of Night. There is a group ahead of you. There's one group ahead of you. But they sort of like disappear into the fog. And you disappear into the fog, and maybe you don't notice it until it's too late, but you look around and your group is the only one that you can see within the sort of like trail in the forest that you're in. After a few more moments, you come across a sort of monument. And by few moments, I mean, it feels like it's been 2 hours that you've been walking in the woods, but you're not entirely sure how long. But you don't get hungry and you're not that tired, actually. But after some time, you come across like this, the fog sort of dissipates a little bit, and you can see in the distance there is a large stone monolith emerging from the ground in a clearing in the woods,
Ooh.
and there's nobody else there. It is sort of just like a perfectly round clearing in which this monument is erected.
Huh.
Okay. I guess we can go take a closer look, maybe?
Yeah.
Shall we roll some investigations?
Yeah, you guys can approach the stone monument. Give me a perception or investigation to see if there's anything that you can glean from this thing.
Is there anything written on it?
17.
17, 19, 27, 23. Oh, you guys
23.
are on your game. Yeah, speaking of if anything is written on it, I will say like Kevin and Hako, you can see it like right there. It's like sort of scrawled onto the monument itself. Wait, where's my, there it is. There seems to be a plaque, and there's a couple of like little gems on the left side and on the right side, and there is like sort of a track in the middle, and the kind of looks like this. The text says, as you read it, the stars fall east and the moon wanes west.
All right, is this exactly what we see like stuck on the monument, like
Yes,
this front vertically in front
on
of
one face
Okay.
of the monument, it has this sort of at like the base, like where it's like eye level to you guys, and you see again on the surface there seems to be like a carved indentation of this sort of like track thing, and there's 3 4-pointed like gems on the left side, and then 3 like luminescent moonstones on the right.
I see.
Oh. Oh, we can move. this.
Looks like we can.
Yeah, you guys
can
do you guys
move
like
the
touch?
gems.
Yeah, you can move the gems. You are moving them. They seem to move on a track, so you can't pluck them out. But you can like sort of slide them around.
Can I?
Are we
looks
supposed to
like
make
we
them
need to-
change places?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Stars to the east and moon to the west. And we've only got the little divot at the center to basically shift it, so. Overon
Eh?
starts pushing things around, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I'll help. Can we like this?
Put that down. Then put this over here. And then what is it? We would maybe put one of those moongai here.
Oh, you can't overlap them.
Oh wait.
Thanks.
I don't think you
Then-
can do that. You would need to like reverse some of it first. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and then bring that
Oh.
out. Bring that moon here. Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All of us trying to move things at once. Yeah.
I've just stopped clicking.
Yeah. Okay. Move the moon over. Sorry.
Wow. Yay.
Yay.
Oh, I meant to do the clapping one, but where's the oh, here. There you go. Yeah, so you guys make short work of this puzzle, like moving all the little bits around. And as they sort of click into place on either side, you see like here a sort of panel opens up, and a little moon gem falls out and into your hand. It is slightly warm to the touch, but it is a perfectly round representation of the moon in gem form.
Okay. Avani will take it, I guess.
Yeah, as you take it, and like the little slot closes up, the monument, like you can feel the earth underneath you like start to shake, and the monument slowly starts to descend into like the floor of what is essentially the forest floor, and sort of like disappears into the earth. The sky above you, it starts with like one, and then like another, and then soon it is like a small shower of them. You guys find yourselves in a meteor shower, as like little stars sort of streak across the sky above you. It's quite beautiful, and it goes on for maybe like 30 minutes.
Okay. We watch it, presumably.
But yeah, you're free to leave if you would like. You finished
sure.
it.
Scratching
Okay.
head, I guess we leave.
Oberon takes a little, what is it, charcoal relief of the plaque as a memento.
Yep.
Oh, wait, before the thing, okay, descended. So, question, the monument just basically, like, descended into the ground. And so the top of the monument is level with the ground now?
Oh yeah,
what you're saying?
it's almost as if the monument was never there.
Okay, so, and there's nothing on the top of that monument, right?
Nope.
Where, like, the... Nope, okay. Well, no
Okay.
investigation rolls needed, huh?
So you guys make your way back?
Okay.
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 Yeah.
You guys sort of trek back through the woods where you came. Avani, make me a survival check.
Okay. Survival. I will guidance myself just in case. Well, maybe I didn't have to. 24.
Didn't have to. Yeah. You're an experienced tracker. You've made it through, like, you're good at hunting animals, you're good at tracking stuff down. You're good at finding your way through the woods. You going through this forest have no understanding of how any of these paths work. They almost feel like the road that you came in on is not the road that you're leaving on. And the like path that you think would make sense to like show up, like animal trails, that kind of thing, nonsensical here. So it does throw you off a little bit, but because the fog is sort of opening up and closing up behind you, that is sort of the only thing at this point keeping you guys presumably on the right trail. But you have a feeling if you were to sort of step away from where the fog is sending you, you would be lost very fast.
Okay.
I like the delayed guidance roll. But yeah, you guys finish your trial of night, gemstone in hand, and you make it back out to the central temple. You see definitely the other people who took the trial of night with you, they're already back, but you are the only people that are back so far. It seems of the like two groups that went to the trial of night, you and the other group are already there, and you sort of like look at each other and they like shrug and they say, that was honestly a lot easier than I thought it would be. And their friend goes, yeah, I mean, I thought it would be, you know, a little more complicated than that, but all you had to do was rip them out. And then the other one goes, yeah, like just pry them out with a knife.
Rip them out.
Got it. You think they would put a bigger challenge in front of a thief, and they sort of like chuckle to each other and then like make their way to a tent to like rest up.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys are back. No one else is back. Just that group of people that was with you.
Were we supposed to do that? Would that be more following the shoulders?
What we did was good and correct.
Well,
and-
maybe we should just move on.
Are we supposed to bring this back to the was it ash black tree up at the front, or
Yeah, maybe. I guess we could ask, are we supposed to turn do we turn this in, or do we
Yeah, do you
we
like go
just
up and ask
keep
her?
going?
Yeah, you come back up to like where Ash Black Tree is, and she's sitting now sort of at the base of the statue. She seems to be whittling something out of like stone in her hand. She's like sort of carving away at it, and she looks up and she says, "Ah, it seems you've returned from the trial of night. How well, I know how it went. Oh." And she looks at the like little moonstone in your hand. Make me an insight check as you guys ask if you want to turn it in or not.
16.
21, 12. She seems to be like when you ask that, she like you can see her eyes sort of like land heavily on each of you for a moment, almost like she's like studying you for your reaction to it, before she like shakes her head and it sort of passes, and she says, no, that's just a trinket for you to keep as well as a memento of the experience, if you'd like. Apologies that we do not have more than one for your larger group. Hopefully you'll be able to work it out.
Oh. Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
Of course. You're free to, like we mentioned, partake in any refreshments. You will have to wait until the rest of them return from their trials if you'd like to continue.
All right. So I guess it's break time?
Break time.
Okay.
Yes, is it short rest for anybody who wants it?
Yeah, you
essentially?
guys can short rest if you'd like. So essentially, there will be 2 short rests and 1 long rest throughout all 4 of them. So you can decide when and where you want to take them, and I will like just fiddle with the time to make it so that you can.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess we
does
can
anyone
short rest.
need
I don't
short
think we.
rest right now?
Yeah, I don't think we've really used any abilities that
I haven't
require
done
it.
anything. Yeah, but unless you guys have anything specific you want to do you just want to say that you sort of like set up in the tent that they provided to you guys, and like hang out and wait until more people come in?
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Over the course of the next couple of hours, several groups return. The earliest that return are let me check my notes. Oh yeah. Several people return from the Trial of Instinct. They're the second. Is that the one? Yeah, they're the second group of people to return. They return maybe, I don't know, like an hour or 2 after you guys have come back. They all come maybe within 30 minutes of each other. And they seem to have come back. Mostly, they don't look very different from when they returned. That is not the case that can be said for the first few people that return from the Trial of Fear, however. I think several of them start coming back looking quite worse for wear. There's an old man that comes back with his group, and he's like bleeding from the chest, more or less. He has a pretty large wound that one of the stone attendants will like walk over and start to talk to them about, and they sort of disappear into a tent. A few more people return from this trial. They're not in as pristine condition as you all were returning from the first 2 trials. They seem to be a little bit in like various conditions, but all of them in some sort of disarray. Except for the fairies who come back, and they seem fine, honestly. For as far as you're concerned, they look more or less hale and whole, though you see one of them rubbing at their eyes, a little bit red and like a little sniffly. This woman comes alone as well, returning from the trial. She is unscathed. And then the last to return are the groups that went to the Trial of Wilderness. They come back. They're not as scuffed up, I would say, as the people who came from the Trial of Fear, but they are sort of like dirty. They look like they haven't washed in a couple of days, even though they seem to come back, from your perception, I don't know, maybe 5 hours from when you sat down as the last group to come back in, but they look like they've been out in the woods for weeks, from the state of themselves. A couple of them, they hear the dog barking. A couple of them are like have some minor injuries. One of the dogs, ironically, he has to be supported by the shoulders by his companion as he's limping from one of his back paws. But they seem a little less roughed up than the Trial of Fear people, but not 100%. And so after maybe around 5 hours of waiting, everyone's from your perception, everyone's come back and is sort of decompressing, as it were.
During this like time we're waiting, can we try? Well, at least can Kevin try to like recall what Shudder is like from the tales he heard? Like, is Shudder prone to be more law-abiding kind of god, or enjoys like bravery, or like values selfishness more, etc.?
Yeah, you can give me a religion check, sure. I think with disadvantage, because you've made it a point that Kevin does not fuck with religion, so I don't know why you would know it, so you can do it with disadvantage.
Yeah. And also Kevin just asked around our group as well. What the hell?
Wow, you know this at least. You don't know much. You have like sort of heard like bits and pieces, maybe even against your will. You've read it in a book, heard it in a tale, but generally, and I think this is just from service of the Shudder being one of the 4 like major arcana, that you kind of just have to know about them, or else you would live in a rock and be brain dead. But as most people know, the Arcana is a sort of, or the Shudder is a lawful god, tends to follow the law, but in this sense, unlike the other lawfully aligned major Arcana, which is the candle, the Shudder follows the sort of law of nature, and so prefers, the following of the natural order, respects the food chain cycle. Those who are devoted to the Shudder find peace within the natural world and like sort of work to protect it, work to protect the wildness of things and the untamedness of things, and additionally understand that fear is a healthy thing for people, that like you should be afraid of things because that is what keeps you alive, and being truly alive is to understand that the world out there is not something that you can control or tame or understand. And so those are sort of the laws that govern the Shudder's worldview, way of thinking. That's what you can sort of glean.
Okay.
During this downtime, can Oberon ask something to the adjutant?
Yeah, sure.
He kind of goes up to the adjutant, who's, I assume, still carving away at whatever is in her hand.
Yep.
And he kind of like is studying the statue and like looking at it, slightly tilting his head. And then he very respectfully asks Adjutant Blacktree, I was wondering if you were permitted to share anything about the specific story behind this visage of the Shudder?
Adjutant Blacktree like looks at you. It sort of just like tilts her head a little bit, and she says, well, I can speak to what I know about it, but why do you ask? For what purpose do you wish to know?
Oberon kind of like looks at her and then looks at the statue, and it's like half reverent, half like wild curiosity, I guess. And I think it's like pretty like obvious. And then he's like, well, I suppose in a way, we are in Zacharias' descent, I assume, and this specific visage, taking such as big center hold in her domain. I suppose I'm just in the end, I'm just curious.
She sort of like looks up, and she says, I can share what I know, but let me preface it by saying you are curious about many things, Oberon, and some may find that admirable, others may find it grating, intrusive even. I've heard tell of your experiences and commend your group for their bravery. But I must warn you to remain fearful of stepping on toes that are above your pay grade? Is that how people say it? I mean this all respectfully, of course.
Kind of, yeah.
But yes,
And then
I will
Oberon,
tell you
yeah.
about the statue. And she sort of like gestures to it with her hand. As you've surmised, we like to tell the locals that we're in the sky home, the big cloud above the shaded tabernacle. It makes them feel better about this being a physical place. But if you've surmised it on your own, we are, in fact, in a portion of Zacharias' descent. The knightly lady holds court in the physical realm and holds dominion in this one. This statue is frankly, it's a bit of an amalgamation as far as my memory is clear of a few different instances, stanzas of her lives even. I think they've got maybe the cheeks right, but the ears are definitely someone else. A different one, at least. Mainly, though, this is a depiction of the Shudder in her life as the warrior Imogen Anato. She lived that life mostly taming the North, as much as the North wishes to be tamed anyway. And I'm talking about further north, where the white meets the sky in endless, blinding snow. Taming is, like I said, not really a thing that is of interest to the Shudder, but sometimes a beast's fangs grow too long and needs to be pared down. And she sort of shrugs, but people are quite fond of her lifetime as Imogen, so I suppose that's why they love to share this specific depiction around. I'm not of one opinion one way or the other.
Oh, bye, Rain.
Oh, bye, Rain. It's okay, I'll make your bugs talk next time.
Yeah.
Good night, Rain.
Good night, Rain.
Ron kind of like, he's been mostly like looking at the statue as he's taking in what Black Tree is saying. And then he kind of like is like nodding slowly, listening to her. And then he's like, wow, that was very enlightening. Thank you for sharing. And then he kind of looks at her and is like, I can't say that I am a extreme and devout follower of Our Lady of the Night, but well, I think it seems like you would probably know that well, you know, at least me with me and how I grew up, the Shudder is, you know, no foreigner, I suppose, or was in my daily life, and I think, I don't know, I do appreciate your concern and warning, but what can I say? The fear and the thrill that goes along with the curiosity. Well, let's just hope that the Shudder has my back next time in a pinch. That's all I can really pray for.
She just gives you this sort of like wry look that she gave Yuli, which is like she's amused at you mostly, like someone's kid is like running around their feet like ankles, kind of amused look. When you're like, maybe she'll have my back. Like, okay, yeah, sure, buddy. And she just gives you like a very graceful like nod, and is like, that is one way to interpret her domain of fear. I always did think it was, well, again, my personal opinion, fascinating that many ascribe rogues, and rogues themselves love to patronage my mistress. I suppose it's the night, an instinct that draws them in. But again, she can be a relatable existence for many. Just because I don't understand
Oberon
it
kind of
doesn't
nods.
mean it isn't for me.
Oberon kind of does a little like, oh yeah, like I like a little like nod, and then he's like, some rogues do, but I always thought of it more as a part of the ecosystem, if you so will. Rogues, I meant, the whole survival of the fittest, I suppose, and there being what beasts in the wild and beasts among men, etc., etc.
She like gives you like the look is less wry now and more like, are you talking out of your ass? Like she's looking at him like, this doesn't make sense to me, and she says, that I don't mean to get into a religious litigation argument here, but wouldn't you say that rogues subvert themselves into the ecosystem? They're not the strongest, nor were they the most predispositioned effort-wise to get where they are. Instead, they connive their way into it.
Oberon is like, oh, I mean no disrespect, and this is just, I suppose, my personal viewpoint and interpretation with, I suppose, how I grew up in
Of course.
my specific corner of the world. So, I mean, would you like me to answer that?
I think I understand what your interpretation is. But if I'm being honest, Mr. Oberon, I have no interest in understanding it. And she just gives you like a very polite smile.
And Oberon kind of does a little like nod and a smile back, but he's quite happy with what he's learned. So he wanders back off to where the group is.
Yep. Is there anything else you guys want to do? Anyone you want to talk to before they start the next round? You obviously will have like some time to like eat and etc. And the people who are injured, after they leave like their tents with the sort of statue women, they seem more or less healed up. No?
I mean, I guess since there are so many hours, Avani will at some point also go in and ask the adjuvant, like, and like just stare at the statue for a while and say, if you don't mind, they said at the Laurels that I'm descended from Our Lady the Shudder. Do you know which one? I believe they've had many incarnations.
Adjuvant Blackwood sort of looks at you. Yeah, Adjuvant Blackwood looks at you, and like almost like she like gets up and she'll like circle you a little bit, and then she'll like turn her head towards the stone woman on the left and like sort of gesture with her like head like tilt for like her to come over, and then this woman will like start approaching, and now that you can see her much closer, you can tell she's also an earth genasi. Her skin is maybe doesn't have like the like sort of gold marble running through it of yours, and it is a much like lighter gray, but she has similar facial features to yours in a way that you maybe didn't notice until she got closer because you thought she just looked like the statue. Instead of gold, her arms just have like a very light, almost imperceptible like starlight white marbling through them, and she's also like Avani is tall. This woman is statue tall. she's maybe like a foot and a half taller than you, but she sort of like sits down so that she is not looming over you like on the like bench, and she looks up at you and she says, and her voice almost sounds like she doesn't use it very much, but it comes out as a bit of a whisper, even like, yes, I see why you've brought me over, cousin. Looking at Adjutant Blackwood. Mochi barking. She like looks up at you and she says, I see much of Karathun in you. Avani, was it?
Yes.
Are you not aware of... Well, I suppose that's why you've asked. I and my sister, and then points to one of the tents where the other statue, West Lady, now you know Earth Genasi went. We are both descended from the incarnation of the Shudder, known as Karathun Ilmater. She spent much of her life in the southeastern reaches, where life used to be quite a bit more fertile than it is now. But there was a deep and terrible thing living there. And its corpses that it left were what made the area so fertile. Karathun and another of the Arcana made it their mission to eradicate that monster. While it did provide sustenance and vitality, the land was not built for the fertilization, I suppose I would put it, that was being thrust upon it. And the price that the ecosystem had to pay was far too high. You
I see.
and I, and others from Karathun's line, were likely carved from the stones that built the city that she left there. Have you heard of the Saltpeter Docks? I suppose that's what it's called now.
Well, I've never been there, but I have heard of it, of course.
That's all that's left of the settlement that Karathun built. The Shudder can build homes, reprieves from the night, but it is up to, well, the mortals to maintain it. And mortals forget, and mortals are greedy, and mortals throw away things that they should be keeping better care of. And like as she says that, like her face has been mostly placid the whole time, but like her like eyebrows just so ever slightly scrunch up, and you can only see it because she sat down, so you didn't have to look up. And Adjutant Blackwood like puts a hand on her shoulder, like sort of comfortingly, before she continues and says, well, I digress. It's a past thing now, and, you know, seeing you, I'm quite glad that there are still some of us roaming this earth and living on her lands, under her shade.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
I must say, I must say, nobody was ever able to tell me any of that. As you probably know, my home was destroyed when I was very young, so there really wasn't anyone left to ask.
Ah, yes. Unfortunately, much like my home, which was where those docks are now, like I said, sometimes these things, even if carved from stone and harder than the earth, crumble like sand. But, and I can tell that you believe in it, you can always rebuild.
Yes. As long as we are alive, that there is hope.
Of course. And she just kind of gives you like a wry smile, and then she'll like stand back up and like give you a little pat on the shoulder, and she'll go back to her work if there's nothing else.
Guess not. That's one question answered.
Awesome. Yippee. Okay. Anything else, anybody?
Well, I guess Kevin kind of
Yvonne?
asks. Oh,
What?
yeah, go ahead.
No, Kevin can do the thing first, and I'll ask.
Okay.
Funny.
I kind of forgot it now.
I forgot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What was I even saying? Yeah, you can go ahead.
I think I guess I asked Avani because she's a Lower Orchard resident. Did you know anything about the warrior Imogen Anato? Like, I asked the adjutant, and apparently that's the depiction of the large center statue. And then I shared the information I got about living taming the icy north up there. But is there could Avani roll history for any other juicy details?
Yeah,
Can
you can if you'd like.
Okay. It's like, well, she will, in the meantime, she will say, well, I mean, I have seen this depiction in, like, other temples in Lower Orchard before.
So yeah, apart from do you know anything special about
History.
Imogen?
I will guidance myself as well.
Okay, you should roll your guidance.
So that would be
17?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you are familiar with the name Avani, not because of like you particularly follow anything regarding the Shudder, but just that like you've heard, maybe part of like stories growing up is there's like a childhood story about how Imogen tamed the North. There's, I think, one thing in particular that stands out to you that you remember is that during the Shudder's time as Imogen, in the north, there was, specifically in Last Upon Shores, that's what the island is called, there used to be land further north of that, that was why that place got named Last Upon Shores. There was a storm that was basically going on, like a snowstorm up there, like a blizzard that had been raging for hundreds of years, like even longer, like from the time that anyone can remember to when like Imogen was around. There was a storm there that made going north of the coil, or north of like the edges of Lower Orchard up to Last Upon Shores, basically impassable. But
Like, you mean where the Hourglass Strait is now?
Yes, where the Hourglass Strait is now, that was all like sheetrock and ice and was not liquid water, so you couldn't even cross it. If you tried to walk it, there was a storm right at the edge of where the Hourglass Strait was. So like people just couldn't go up north, but it was becoming like an issue because there was a group of people who, there's some wars that happen and people fight, and Lower Orchard's borders were a little more loosey-goosey then than they are now. And a group of people was basically like, there were two duchies that were fighting each other to like, land or whatever. And one of them was defeated and sort of exiled, and so they made the trek up through the like incredibly dangerous Hourglass Strait into like a land that they could live, that wasn't controlled by their rivals, and they did set up on Lastupon shores, but eventually the storm kicked up again after summer ended and like cut them off, and so they sent out pleas for help for anyone to like come get them or come like save them. And Imogen at that time was a she didn't know that she was an incarnation of the Shudder until she said that she received memories and in like sort of like a down like isekai'd into her body essentially, which is not a rare thing to happen, but it is not a common way that someone realizes that, oh, I am an incarnation of the Arcana. But Imogen was a young girl who lived sort of on the like Lower Orchard side of it, and she went over there, and she was a mage, and she basically used magic to tame the storm so that in the winters it would still be kind of hard, like she couldn't fully tame it, but it would at least be a livable place for anyone who needs a home and needs somewhere to live in Lower Orchard that can't live in the normal lower half of the country.
Okay.
Wani, I'm taking notes of all this because you're never gonna write this down.
No, I wrote it down somewhere.
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 It's in my Notion.
Yeah.
Correct. Grace.
Avani will
You're never
also
gonna
tell you
answer
that it was
us.
a picture book.
Oh, how delightful.
Yeah, Avani will tell you that there was a picture book she read about it, so that would there were actually like really delightful pictures.
Oh yeah, it was
about
really delightful pictures of the war between two duchies. It's a very Shudder kind of picture book.
Well, the war part was highly stylized.
Yeah, it was like very cartoonish. Okay.
Oberon nods and is like, ah yes, those kinds. Very delightful.
Well, anything else you guys want to
Charles,
do?
did you want to say something?
No, I forgot. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I do remember. I don't. Sorry.
You do and then you don't?
I thought I did, but no.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was a wisp of memory, and then it was gone.
Yeah,
I remember I forgot. Oh.
I forgot.
All right. Well, if you guys have nothing else you want to do, would you like to skip to the next trial?
Sure.
Yes.
Cool. So you guys are done with the Trial of Night. You have the Trial of Wilderness, Instinct, and Fear left.
No. I think Wilderness seems to take a while from what it looked like. Do we want to do the long stuff first?
Maybe we should
Or
do the
wanna
short
do-
one. It's almost
Okay.
8:30.
I'm okay either way.
Oh, I'm just thinking. Yeah, it's like 8:30, so the Singapore and Southeast Asians gotta go to bed soon.
I mean, technically, there's only one of us left, and
Yeah,
I'm not
it's-
complaining.
It's true.
Oh.
It's true. The other one already passed out, so her
Yeah.
opinion doesn't count.
I don't know if we'll
I
be able
mean-
to finish it today either way, if it's like how short the other ones would be, so
It looked like instinct. People came back pretty hill and hardy. Fear people came back pretty bruised up, and wilderness takes a while. So
Shall we get the worst out of the way?
Those people came out dirty.
then I think fear
I'm
might
just
be the
thinking there's less
worst
people,
one.
so
I'm just telling you right now, you will not
I
be
mean,
able
if-
to finish the Fear one today. And I think it'd be better if you had, this is metagamey, but I think
Yeah.
it'd be better if you had more people for the Fear one. It's just my opinion.
Okay.
Does
Okay,
help.
what?
So let's do one of
Okay.
the others.
Shall we do instinct then?
we just get yeah.
Okay.
Let's get instinct out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys head over to, I'll just drag everybody slowly to the instinct one. Y'all make your way over here.
Thanks for carrying us.
Yeah, no problem. Everyone, I'm not gonna move
you.
them, but they all go to their different trials. You sort of stand on the precipice of this bridge, looking down. Not bridge. This like I guess like overhang, drop off, looking down. Looking down, you can only see the sort of like milky, foggy, like inky black light with like stars dotted here or there. You can hear the waterfall rushing down that way. Across from you, you can see what looks like a building with like sort of like a spire at the top. And I don't think you guys saw how this group got to theirs. But as you stand there, one of the what do you call it? One of the stone statue ladies like walks over and is like, "Your trial is in the building ahead," and just sort of gestures.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Nobody else is gonna do anything. All right then. And what is it? Oberon just takes a step off the ledge.
Okay, Obi, you drop. Like, you guys see Oberon disappear off the like edge, and you find yourself free falling for what feels like a minute, but like after a minute or so, you like blink and you like open your eyes and you are standing like you're like over here. Stop moving. You're over here. And you feel solidness under your feet.
Oh, okay. I call back to the others. They're like, "It's all right. You can come over. There's ground under my feet or something under my feet."
Okay.
Do we hear it?
Oh yeah, you hear it. I'm assuming Yuli just flies over.
Yeah.
Yuli's just flying. It was like, whatever.
Yeah, Avani will like follow you, Lily, like you
Fly
know,
over.
the normal people. Yeah, because
Yep.
we can.
Because you can. Sunmay jumps head first. Whee!
I assume we just walk across, right?
Yeah, all of you who are going the normal non-flying way, you definitely get that like that falling sensation for the minute, and then you like blink and you find yourself like standing on something, but nothing all at the same time. So you make it to like the entrance of this building. You've seen there's like a couple of groups behind you now who are waiting, and they saw you jump, so they're like, okay, well we'll do it too.
One thing about it, your head's up off a bridge. Are you gonna?
Yeah. So they're all like following you. There's like a door here to the entrance of the building, and it's sort of like stone doors will like open like pocket doors into a room, and as you step in, it like shuts behind you, and you find yourself in front of 3 doors. All of them look identical to each other in every way.
Can we do an investigation or maybe an arcana check?
You can. Sure.
Oh wow. Awesome way of saying you're not gonna find shit. Although
You definitely won't find shit.
Yeah, 7. I don't find shit.
You don't find shit.
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
This is like trial of instinct. Shouldn't we just like trust our instinct and like pick a door?
Do we have to move as a group? I'm curious. Like, it's a little metagamey, but will it only let us like go through one door as a group, or can we all split?
Well, we can like divide everybody goes according to their instinct and picks one door.
Yeah, you can all do that if you want.
Okay.
Or you can all go together. What do you feel like you want to do?
I wants to go to the left one with Kevin.
I need to reload that page before we do that.
Amani's still stuck on the other side.
Oh no, why did you disappear?
no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here, I'll move you. Ta-da.
I'm curious, are we the only group who are in the building? Or
Like-
did the other people who follow behind us also are at the doors?
As far as you know, you're the only ones inside the building. The doors closed behind you as your group went inside.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Roll your
Can I
d4.
roll it?
Please.
back.
4.
That's a-
Okay. Hako, you go to the rightmost door and you open it as you go inside. Okay, I'm gonna mark this with a pencil just so I don't forget. So
Oh, actually, can I roll as well?
Oberon was also going to go to the right door.
It's fine.
so here,
Yeah,
Here's
I
the
will also
room.
roll a d4.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh, that's fun though.
and then just
Wait,
put,
there's 4 doors?
Oh,
there's 4 doors.
Wait, actually,
Oh.
there are 4 doors.
Oh, that's
okay.
4?
Yeah, there's 4.
4 doors.
I thought
Oh,
it was
under
3.
3. I'm so sorry.
No, sorry, there's
Me
4.
too.
Sorry, there's 4.
There are 4 doors. Okay.
Okay, so we
Oh,
got Kevin on 4, Hako on 4, over on 2,
Nice
and
of
then
Steven.
where are you going, Yumi?
1.
Yumi at 1.
That's what it says.
Okay, so Yumi and Oberon, you both open your doors, you step inside, and both of you see a big in your rooms there is a collection of things. For Yumi, you go inside and you see there are a bunch of books. This room is sort of like, it's not very big, I would say. It's maybe the size of a mall bathroom. I don't know why I would reference it that way, but it's kind of long and skinny, but not very big. But the shelves are lined with like dozens and dozens of books. There are no titles on any of the spines, but they are all different shapes and sizes. Oberon, you open your door, again, bathroom, mall-sized room. Sad, Oberon would have loved that room, yeah. And you see, aligning the walls of your room are several portraits. All of them are different sort of like sizes and dimensions, but from what you can tell, there are at least 50 of them in this room. And they're all of like different people, none of whom you recognize at this very moment. None of you went to 3, and then Hako and Kevin, you both step into room 4. Inside room 4, you see what looks like a small study. There is a desk, there is a sort of comfortable looking chair, but on every shelf and also the desk and every available flat surface, there is a there's like a shellfish. Some of them are oysters, some of them are scallops, some of them are other unidentifiable, but they're all like sort of clamshell type shellfish, and they're all sort of just lining different parts on every flat surface in this room. In the middle of all of the rooms that you are in, there is a pedestal, and on the pedestal is a piece of paper that says, "Follow your instincts. Choose one and one alone." Who wants to go first? Let's go in order. Avani, you are in your room full of books. You have your note. What are you do? Do you have a method? What are you doing?
You mean pick a book?
Yeah, pick a book.
Okay. I guess she will just. Wait. You see, they're all different colors, shapes.
No, your room is full of books where you only see the bindings, like so the back of the books, like the spine, I guess.
Okay. Right, the spine.
Yeah.
Different colors.
No, they are all the same.
Oh, they're basically identical books.
Yes, identical books.
Okay. She will just reach out and pick whichever, I guess. Since it says just take one. Do I just roll?
Yes, roll me a D100.
Okay, since they are all the same, it's not like there's any way for me to choose anything.
Mm-hmm.
It is 834.
Okay, so you pull the book out, and the room is sort of awash in a purpley green light as you look up and you see for you as a Lower Orchard resident, these are sort of familiar sight, but like the room is at this point only lit up by the sort of northern lights as the sort of ceiling falls like away and it looks like you're looking up straight into the sky. The book in your hand, you look down and the title is At Ease, Stories of Valor in Service of the Realm. And if you open it, it is a dog barking. It is an anthology of stories of different knights that have some sort of renown in the realm of the coil.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's a chair here, and like a little table.
I guess she will sit and read it, since that seems to be the the plan.
Yeah, the door is still locked, and I think unless like until you finish reading the book, the door will remain locked essentially.
Okay. So she sits down and starts reading the book.
Yeah. You are learning a lot about different knights, different sort of like valorous attempts. You get to a story in the middle, and there's no particular reason why. It just sort of catches your eye. It's the story of these two different knights. They're both serving the same, I wouldn't say master. That's a strong way to put it. But they're both
Lord.
they're both serving the same lord. That's the word. Yeah. One of them is named Sir Lake Picecross, and the other is Sir Macy Carnation Redborough. And the whole story is about how these two knights, while serving the same lord, fell in love, and they would have loved to spend their whole lives in service of their lord, who was, for all accounts, a pretty magnanimous guy. When at some point the neighboring duchy says to this lord, I will propose a trade. If you give me your strongest knight, I will open up the road and allow trade to like commence between you and our neighboring sort of kingdom, but only if you give me a strong knight in return, as I have a monster I must slay. And they essentially, for sake of the orders of their lord, were split up as Lake Pycross, the stronger of the knights, Sir Pycross, was sent over to the other kingdom. They thought, oh, well, this is just a temporary separation. Eventually, once the threat is dealt with and Lake Pycross can deal with anything, we can reunite. But what they did not know was that the previous lord, the one that proposed the trade, was not proposing it in full truth and wanted to take their strongest knight in order to strike them down before he launched his attack on Lake Pycross and Macy Carnation Redborough's kingdom. With Sir Pycross slain and Sir Redborough essentially devastated, the kingdom that they both were from crumbled without their leadership and fell into the hands of the rival kingdom that had tricked them. And that's where that story ends. And then the next one just sort of picks up with another generic tale of like, ah yes, we saved a lady from an evil dragon, and it was awesome, and we fucked. The end. And it's like more stories like that for the other ones. But that story in particular stuck out to you.
Okay. In any particular reason why? Like, is it just the story, or is there something about the
Give me
characters?
Yeah, give me Doomed Yowie. Yeah, it stuck out to you because it was Doomed Yowie. No. Give me a history check.
Okay. I mean, I was like me as me the player, not me the character, or whatever, you know. Probably not even with guidance. But we will
No,
see.
not with guidance. Something about the story, maybe the names, maybe the like situation that happened. In the back of Amati's mind, she's like, I feel like I've heard this before. Some part of this is familiar to you, but like almost like there's a fog in your mind. You can't recall what part of it is familiar to you, but some part of it is. Okay, next is Obi. Yeah, you're in your room full of portraits. What do you want to do?
I read the note, and then I'm like, okay. I kind of shrug and close my eyes and just go for a portrait. And I roll my 1d100.
Yeah, roll your 1d100 for me, please.
63.
63. So you sort of like count down from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you make your way down, and you find yourself in front of a portrait of it looks like almost like a candid painting. Like there's no photography, but this looks like a candid painting of like someone who had just turned around, almost as if someone had said, hey, I want to capture this. And they sort of have like fair skin, a little freckled, actually a lot freckled. They have spectacles on and sort of like straight black hair parted in the middle. They're wearing like a large coat, sort of like midnight blue color. And they sort of, you can tell that they turned around, smiled, for whatever this portrait was, or at least that's how the painter depicted it. And behind them, you can see like the woods. You can see some like there's like a field of flowers sort of painted behind them within the woods, and then a bright like crescent moon in the corner.
Is this? I assume because there's a moon, this is nighttime?
Yeah, the painting is at night, and like the background is dark, but like the features of this person are quite clear to you, almost as if like someone was holding a lantern up, and so they can see their face and their features and that sort of thing. I will send you a picture of what you see. It is a pit crew. Sorry, but that's what it is. So you can
Are you guys
visualize.
send it in my private channel or NPC?
No,
Is
you guys
this,
can see it. I'll put in the NPC address book.
Oh, I just realized that I have inspiration that I can use this session. Can I re-roll history?
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I will guidance myself again. But anyway, keep going
Mm-hmm.
with the portrait stuff while I do that.
Okay, there's the portrait.
Pretend Avani is just thinking a lot harder.
Yeah, Avani thinking.
Nope.
Nope,
Not any better.
knows less.
Keep thinking did not work.
So distracted by the book.
Yeah, so busy. You were reading the next story where turns out that the princess was the dragon and they got married. Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, dragon fucker.
Dragon fucker.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
What do you do with the portrait? Do you pick it up?
Can I I can reach my hand out and maybe?
Yeah, they said choose one for each of them. So.
Okay, so I reach out and how big is it? I assume it's small.
Yeah, it's small. It's like 4x6.
Okay, yeah. So I pick it up.
Yeah, and it's in a little frame. It's nice. The frame is sort of like this light pearlescent like sheen to it. Maybe it's carved from like mother of pearl, even like inlaid in the wood of it. It's very nice frame, honestly. But yeah, you have your little portrait. There is in the corner of this room, there is an easel and there is a chair and there is a small like tray of paints.
Okay.
And then a frame of similar size, as well as a canvas.
Oh, I see. And the canvas just happened to be the same size that I picked up. How fortuitous, huh?
Freaky.
Yeah. All right. All right. Oberon understands the assignment. He goes over to the corner. Yeah, he goes over to the corner and starts painting.
Okay. Let's move to the last room. So Kevin and Hako, you both go into room number 4. And as I described, it is a small study with, a desk in the middle, and on every available surface that is free and flat, there is a shellfish. Also not described in the room that previously, there's only one chair for the desk. Apologies. But there are 2 like small short knives that you can find if you open the drawer of the desk.
A knife.
Yeah, like an oyster shucking knife, basically. Yeah, for shucking. Yeah, Yadi's got it. Puzzler.
Also, like the seashells are like live clams, or are they?
They're closed. Yeah, they're all different sorts of shellfish.
Shellfish allergy.
Yeah, I'm putting in the shellfish room.
I'm
You
just
pick one?
curious.
Yeah. What?
Are the shellfish alive? I'm just curious.
Yeah, are they live?
Thing they're looking in.
I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, Hako can go first. Kevin will go later.
Okay, roll your D100. 42? Okay, I'm not gonna respond until Kevin gets his.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kevin just kind of runs his hand through like on the surface texture of the shells and try to decide which one he wants. How do I roll 200? Oh yeah. And picks this one out. Huh.
3. Okay. So are both of you shucking your shellfish?
Yeah, it looks like that's what they want to do. Want us to do.
So let me get pictures of this. So, Hako, you pick up the shellfish you pick up is a we would know it in our world as a quahog clam, but it is round and sort of like grayish white. It's got like kind of like a stripy pattern to it. And you pick it up and you shuck it open, and inside of your shellfish is a tiny blue gem, sort of carved into the shape of a flower. And that's what you have, is a tiny little flower. Little flower inside your quahog. This is what the quahog looks like, by the way. Just a clam. That's what the inside looks like. It's a milky white, and it's got like a little, almost like a, little aurora borealis night sky action going on. And then Kevin, you get, let me see my list of clams, of which I made one.
For real?
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me see. Clam.
Are they the same size in real as in like our real life as well?
Oh yeah, they're all the same size as they would be in real life. Yeah, clams. I think you, where's my clam list? You've got 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy. So you pick up a scallop.
Huh.
Yeah, you pick up a little scallop. It is very symmetrical, but it's like this sort of rusty orangish color, and it's got like I said, the scallop edges. This one in particular has a bit of like a sort of like gradient sheen to it, and is like pinkish at the edges and purple in the middle. Very pretty scallop. You picked up this one. Just my stock photo scallop picture.
Oh.
But that's what you picked up. And when you pry that scallop open, you find a singular round pearl. It has like a light sort of like sheen to it. It is perfectly round in the way that pearls usually aren't. And as you like sort of snap your scallop open, the scallop itself like snaps into 2 pieces. So you have each half of it in your hand, and the pearl sort of rolling around in the middle.
May I ask what color pearl it is?
It's white. Actually, it looks strangely similar to that little moonstone gem that you got, but it is a pearl and not a moonstone.
Huh. When Kevin looks around the room holding the scallop shells and the pearl, is there anything like he can do with it? Or does he just stand there holding it, looking at Hako?
I think once you guys pry open the shells, the door will also swing open like it was pried open.
Oh, okay. I was looking at each other holding it like
Holding the little shells. Yeah. And as you guys leave, I think weirdly enough, just the timing of it, almost like this is a magical space. You guys almost look like you're leaving at the same time. All 3 of your doors open. Let's just say the other 2 went to room number 3 and they did what was happening there, and their door also opens. And you guys sort of emerge back into the main shrine of the room with all your little items in tow, having done whatever it is you did.
Very
Oh.
cool.
Book portrait. We a book portrait in 2 gems.
Book, portrait,
and shells.
a gem,
What
shells, pearl.
What do the other 2 get? The other 2 did room 3.
Oh yeah, those 2. They got.
Will tell us post game? Oh, okay.
I'll give you a list post game, yeah, because they didn't roll, so I can't. I don't know what they got. Do you want to roll for them?
Should we let them roll maybe next
Yeah,
time?
let them roll next time, and then I'll let you know what they get. Okay, but yeah, you guys make it out. You have your items, and the door in front of you just sort of slides open.
Whee!
I guess
Barn
we
door.
head back out with the pictures, the picture, the book, and the shell and gems.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And I think
And whatever
that's
the other two got.
whatever they got. That's where we'll stop for today.
Yeah.
I think. We did a lot. Good job, everybody. Oh, fuck the fake room. Move everybody over there.
So,
Yay!
wait, so question. So it's
Uh-huh.
like basically Oberon copied the portrait, right? Or what?
What did you do, Oberon? What did you do?
Wait. Can I ask
What's Obi's
how
instinct?
long
Yeah, what did
Obi's instinct-
Obi do?
before I
When
answer?
he
How
sat
long
down
were
to
we in
paint.
that room for? How long was I in my room for?
You
time-wise?
were in the room for as long as it took for you to finish your portrait.
Okay. Let me see. My instinct is to actually not copy the portrait because I'm like, this is unique. This is one of a kind. Even if I tried to copy it, I wouldn't be able to copy whatever the master strokes, is going on the canvas. So my second
What
instinct
did
was, I actually think about it real quickly, and then I start doing a painting of the adjunct ash black tree.
Oh, interesting choice.
Yes. Like obviously, I can't get like a photorealistic kind of result, but I would say Oberon's at like the AP art level ish.
AP art.
Maybe
Yeah.
slightly.
He went to
Yeah,
Hogwarts.
not like not like he can do like those crazy master paintings, but like can fairly enough
not
like
bad.
capture a pretty good like it's not bad, like a pretty decent like portrait of the lovely adjunct. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. However long it took for you guys to read your book, open your shell, paint your portrait, do whatever it is those two did, when you emerge, you all come out at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we're chill for today. I hope you guys had fun in our little trials.
Yay!
It's
Thank you.
in my notes I put half trial little puzzle games, half Lord Drop.
Oh yeah, so much lore.
Big fat Lord Drop realm. But yay, enjoy the last two trials next time when more people are here, hopefully.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
Are you guys free for next
thank
week?
you.
Oh yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, I should be as well.
How's the
Yeah.
Yadi, how's
Tacos.
the
I'm Yachty.
rice cake?
Cake.
Oh, Yadi.